transition phase, further growing from a startup where I also visited a few hubs every time I was around, now to 16 hubs from Tanzania border up to Siaya, which I even can't make in 1 year to visit all. And of course we are creating more interest. So also my role is changing. I talk a lot more to potential partners in the future, and you see even some of these projects coming into our hubs in Uhuru Bay, for example, one consortium where we are testing new technologies on ice flake production. Even the dryer is a new technology. These are pilots, and of course these are additional work for all of us, which are not bringing revenues. So we also need to balance between our daily work to create revenues and of course being innovative, being creative, joining hands with other partners who are funding such kind of innovations. And this is only one example, but with the new EU projects also other ideas are coming in. We are developing some of our verticals. We have worked on our strategy, so we will have clear focus areas for the next years, which is household water, which we are starting in Sori and Uhuru Bay, but rolling out then also to other hubs, which is more cooling, mainly ice flakes production, which we will also focus on as a profitable revenue stream. And of course we are also looking into electric mobility. We recently joined hands with other new partners which might come in also to create impact in the rural areas for different groups, for women groups, for example. Now we will look into electric mobility with a focus on gender balance, on creating jobs and income also for women. And of course we always need to balance between our revenues, which is the basis, which pays all our salaries, and being innovative and creative and doing project work, which also might come then later into our operations. So the household pilot project with 12, 14 households was one example where we tested, where we got a small funding opportunity, and we have identified this as a revenue stream, and now we are able, from what we have learned, to roll out. That's only one example. Electric mobility will come into more hubs in the future. Of course it takes a bit time, but I'm sure next year we will have at least 1-2 additional hubs where we also scale this idea, our fleet, and also the ice flakes will come in new hubs. And this is on our management, on my level. I really have to balance and to also ensure that with time we are ensuring that our operations are covered from our revenues. We are still not there yet, but we are improving. We have done big steps last year and also this year on our revenue, on our income side, and this is really the work based on your daily work, which is seen. So on my side, I even look every morning in the figures of all hubs, so I'm fully aware what is going on. And I always reach out to the accounts or to Angola. If one number is not in order, I'm asking immediately, is there a breakdown? What is there? What is there? So, because this is really the basis, and we need to ensure, as we are growing with the years, also more independently from our shareholder, that of course the heavy funding which we got through the pandemic and which really supported us also will reduce. We will look for additional project funding to implement such of our ideas and innovations, and of course the bigger idea is that with that kind of pilot projects which we are doing, then we do a proof of concept, and I think some of you are also involved. Now Mogurube will come, Vita, we had the cold room, we had the ice flakes, and now as we know and as we can take informed decisions, we can really focus on one or two things and scaling this to other hubs into the daily business. Of course, not everything will work properly or profitable what we test, but also the lanterns, our main revenue stream, is now we are undergoing a technical review and technical new phase, improving the technical things on the lanterns to keep them longer in circulation. We are doing with Chris at the moment refurbishment of the battery cells. So this is really everything necessary. Of course, we are communicating impact to our shareholders, to other partners, because of course I know there is also money for this kind of innovations, which are also often linked to climate change, to other bigger challenges, resources for battery cells, and but of course on our side it's also the cost factor. So now this is one example that we are really repurposing the battery cells. We giving them to a partner in Nairobi. They are testing every single battery cells and putting the still strong battery cells in new packages. So this allows us now for the first time that we reuse half or more of the battery cells again for a number of months, which also reduces our investment costs. And so these are all things where we look into, and again, I know the money is really created beginning on your side. This is you are the team where really our value chain starts. You are the face of WeTu. You are communicating to the customers, and of course we all know we are individuals. We have also our private life. We have good days. We have bad days, and of course we work in teams in the hubs, and you have the responsibilities. I think we worked this year also with Regina and somehow new HR department on the JDs. So you also see there are increasing responsibilities, expectations to you as we invest more, as we grow our customer bases. So that's why I really wanted, or we as a team with Regina and also Agoda, we really wanted to start this kind of training with this group. So we are not looking even into the project coordinators or in the whole team, because I really am fully aware our revenues, and this is the basis of all our work, really starts with your daily work. So you have a lot of responsibility. You manage the hubs. You are responsible for the hubs. You are delegating all this what we have, integrity, the topics, and you know we had quite some challenges in the past years, and that's why even once you see maybe someone is also leaving the organization, there's always a reason behind it. So nothing to fear as you do your work, and you work in a team. I think most of you also know me since long, so really no problem, no commander, I think. But of course we have rules, and in that growing team with now almost 70 staffs, you know where shall we or I start giving a second chance or not? You know, it's no difference if something is stolen of 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 shilling. It's the attitude. You know, it's either I'll comply and I'll work for the organization and I'll see also what I can get out of it beyond my daily salary or my monthly salary. And that's why I always tried also to give something back. This is now one chance which we want to start with. So I'm very happy if we get feedback in any way, good feedback, critical feedback after this round, because it's a starting point for more support and also development. We are very diverse in our organization, which is of course also a challenge. From the educational background, we have whatever teachers and different people from different sectors in the whole organization, and different experiences. And as also Oskar said, we are developing a bit more in the direction of a corporate organization. And therefore I really also put the focus on corporate basics, corporate behavior. Of course, there is no criticism from my side. I see everything works quite well, and also from the answers we can see that even these words of leadership and so on is nothing complete new, but as Oskar also said, it's a long phase, and you can do master studies about leadership over years, but you can also develop yourself into a leader just by doing and by getting a little bit support here and there and from time to time. And I think that's what we can, as an organization, what we can support and what we can offer. And it should not be a one-off now for the next 10 years. Of course, it's always a logistic challenge to get all together and so on, but it's doable, and it's really a starting point. And I think after this training we will also see where we are. But this one day tomorrow should really build a common basis from where we can then also proceed. And of course, as I mentioned, we are coming with different also familiar backgrounds, issues in the family or whatever, in the morning to the job, with different moods, different stress levels. Then sometimes only one customer asking stupid questions is enough to not handle this professional anymore. That's nothing special for you or for me. We are all different characters, and some might go very silent, some are going in the different direction, and you have also the responsibility for other people in this organization and for the hub itself. So what does this mean? Although you can delegate things, you still should keep the responsibility and the eye on it and support, as we have also mentioned. So this is a little bit the background that, of course, I see on the one hand side we are introducing not new policies, but we are rolling out policies in terms of standard operation procedures, SOPs. Some are already shared, more will come, because it's not that I or the management want to control you with these SOPs. It's really also requirements to us. If we want to look into ice flakes, if we want to look into household water, we have to register with the regulator, and we are dealing with food and beverage. And this must be very clear. If we deliver water to the homes, and this has a certain standard according to our license also, then we really need to show even all the SOPs which we now have also developed for the household water project, running a plant you know, we are dealing with chemicals, we are dealing with whatever technologies, and if you overdose with chlorine, or you underdose, everything has an effect. And of course, we have our water team for this case, but you are dealing with ice flakes and with maybe drying in the future with other topics. And of course, there are also requirements to us as an organization, and it's also a risk on our side losing our licenses, and therefore we also need to develop step by step these regulations, these internal regulations, and of course we must comply. It's not that you're doing it for the organization, you're doing it to ensure that we deliver quality, what is expected, that we are not risking these kind of licenses and so on. So there is always a reason behind, and I think that should also be part of the training, that you really understand it's not to torturing you now, sending the report at the same time every day, or this or that, or underbanking, overbanking. It has really tax implications, for example. And I think we are, even in Kenya, we are going through rough times with all that tax. So it's really that I send the accounting team every now and then to a new training for all these Shifa and whatever, how you call it. And it's we have even decided last week that we do an interim audit over the year, not to risk at the end of the year that maybe something was not, from the accounting side, was not done properly, because we really have not only this Shifa thing, also in terms of tax, and you know it even better than me, but what's going on at the moment, but all has also implications into the businesses, into reporting, into using the KRA portal and everything. So as we are growing, of course, also authorities and other stakeholders are looking more into our work, and of course we have to cascade it down into processes, and of course we also see we are getting new people on board. So even these regulations and SOPs should support new staff, that they can be guided on a daily basis, that you have something to dedicate and see now, just look into that process, this is how it should be done, and if you have questions we can go through. So it should be more to standardize and to support our daily work. And of course, this is also important to follow. And I think, you know, just writing policies which are not followed and not considered doesn't make sense. It's not worth the paper and the time I put in and other put in. I even get a lot of legal support for this and that, for registration process. Now it's really a long and also cost-intense process to report, to register as a water service provider, which we want to do now next year. And of course, therefore, the requirements also to us are increasing, and of course we are getting new partners on board, which is a good thing, which also still support our operational loss that we still have, so that we can finance the organization through other channels. And this also has to be seen that these projects, even other colleagues are running, even if it's let's say the outcome or the result is not really profitable in terms of revenues, but of course there is always a project component and budget behind, where I also try to finance the organization itself, so it can be also seen from that perspective. And of course, these kind of projects are also opening doors for new partners and for new also funding. And I'm very happy, I can say we had the best month in terms of revenues last month in our history. So
that's why you clap, huh?
yeah, I clap for you. It really starts with or it's fully revenues from the hub basis, and this is really what we also expected, what I also forecasted. So we will close the year exactly what was projected. This is also a good sign to our shareholders that we are not projecting big revenues and big whatever and are not able to do it. So this gives us also credibility, and I'm very happy that we are exactly on our way what was planned and what is expected. And as I said, we are improving. Also the water sales were the best. Of course, I see the lanterns in quite some of the hubs are really going up, and this also, of course, is important if we invest in new sites. Of course, we know in complete new areas like Mohuru, it always takes time. It took also time in Beta when Steve started there, even before my time. And we see also in other hubs that we are really progressing quite well. And I'm thankful for that. And this is where we need to proceed on our way, and also spread a little bit the risk, as we are still making most revenues from the lanterns. Of course, this is a kind of a risk for all of us, so that's why we try now to also bring up ideas which we have tested in the past into the organization more, so that we can balance between the verticals a little bit more to increase the revenues, but also spread a little bit the risk and the revenues between different products and services, which is also important. So this is a little bit of the background, and I think as we have started with Regina in the HR, this is also a department who should support us. Of course, there were a lot of new staff onboarding, and all these procedures also took us quite a bit of time. But I think we are mostly done. We have a good team now, and although some have left, I think this is now the team with whom we can really proceed. We will still see a little bit of changes. I'm not talking about reorganizing the structure or whatever. I think we are on a good way, but there will still be 1-2 small changes also in the team, and this also has reasons for our strategy, for also for the sake of the team, for the sake of the culture, which we also want to work on, and also this training should be seen as something to talk about our culture, how we understand our culture, also how we want to develop our cultures. It's on you also to really participate, and again, concerning the policies and standards, we are doing quite some steps. Also a few new things will come in terms of SOPs. You saw the training from Jane and this and that. And with all this, the responsibility and the expectations are growing, and that's why I think it's the right time to roll out or to start such a process here. And again, you are the first group. We might have also other groups next year, and this should not be a one-off for the next 10 years. Of course, we cannot do it every month, but we will see, and also learn from the feedback, and also from your expectations, from your wishes, which you can bring in, so that we are also a bit guided on maybe how to proceed, and where we can maybe put a little bit more focus then in the future. That's from my side. I hope it gives a little bit of background, and of course we're planning the next years already, and if we proceed like this, I really see also a good future. But again, everything is based on your work as the responsibility or the responsible people in the hubs, and therefore we want to also support and equip you